Alright, you guys, I'm having technical difficulties and I don't understand why. Tirtha's. Okay, let's see. Let's try one more time. Radha Metro. She and I grew up together. In Yogaville. Hey, Camille. I'm trying really hard to get on here and I'm hoping it works, you guys. What's up, soundtracks? I see Radha. Radha.
My dogs are so excited they're going to
That's
start
cool.
barking now.
Oh, they want to be on camera too?
Okay. You're good.
How have you been? It's been literally years, at least, I don't know, at least 10 years since I saw you last in person.
Has it really been that long?
I've been out of the country for 6 now.
Oh my gosh. Time really flies.
I know, right? We have way too much fun, that's why.
It's so much fun though that we can get on video and see each other's faces.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've been watching some of your
some of the interviews.
and it's so much fun.
Hey, Charlene.
We are
Oh, you okay?
yeah, I'm just trying to adjust this phone.
It's all good. I'm just excited that I get to connect with you again. So you were saying I see Aaliyah on here. That's
Hi, Aaliyah.
That's Tilakam's daughter, right?
Yes,
Oh
it is.
Hi,
I
Aaliyah.
know. Can you believe it?
God, everyone's so grown up. I feel so like ridiculous. Okay, never mind. It's all good.
If you want to learn about Instagram, you have got to talk to Aaliyah. That girl has something like 26,000 followers.
Dang, can I be cool with you?
Exactly. Hi, Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee. I'm not sure I know you, but hey, anyway. So anyway, yes, our families grew up together. I had the privilege of going to school with Porna. Your sister Sumati and I are very good friends, and Tilakam obviously is Sumati's daughter, and then Aaliyah is Tilakam's daughter. Like, wow, generations. And yes, we had some good times in Yogaville.
We really have.
My mom's there right now. Did you know that?
Your baby brother is getting married.
I know! Oh my gosh, end of the year. Here we go.
I cannot believe it. I keep trying to like manifest a way for me to like get there, but Dick is not sure he's going to be able to get off work, and it's driving me crazy. Hold on one second. I'm going to drop this line. I've got so much.
So Radha, we have another little one who wants to say hi. Do you see her?
Hi.
My mini me.
Oh my gosh. Talk about.
Do you remember the last time you saw her?
She's that little. No.
I remember coming to a dance camp performance, and she was just in my arms. Hey, Chili! Ah, she joined us too. So, for those of you who don't know, your family is large, so is mine. Between the two of us, we kind of comprise most of Yogaville, and then there's other people as well. But we were the two major families, and it was so cool to grow up like that because we were like between Vidyalayam, where my aunt and uncle taught for many years, and the Fine Arts Society and stuff. We were all just very, very connected, and I loved that experience. It was really cool. But you've done so much since you graduated high school and everything, and you have your own organic day spa now, and I love the name Tirtha. So if you wouldn't mind, how did you get into salon services, apothecary, all of that?
So I actually, so out of school, I totally went like to this theater direction. I thought I was going to be in acting.
Okay.
I moved up to New York City with Porna in 2000.
I think I remember that vaguely.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be doing more acting, and instead I ended up working on Wall Street.
Wow.
For a hedge fund, and learned an enormous amount about business and finance and things like that just working at the hedge fund.
Okay.
However, this was in 2000, so I was working downtown near the World Trade Center. And,
yeah, I remember.
So on September 11th, I was actually standing a block away from the World Trade Center when the first building fell.
Oh my God, I didn't know it.
Yeah, so I continued not only that day, but then we all came back to work there, and we're constantly exposed to all of these chemicals, at least for the next year.
Yeah, as they tried to clean up.
Yeah, people don't realize the fires were burning for 3 months downtown. So I was breathing the same air that they had pumped in that morning on September 11th. We were just
Oh my God.
recycling the building because we couldn't pull in outside air into the building.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So day after day, I'd come home from work and have to like change my clothes because they just smelled so horrible from all of those chemicals that I was picking up. So fast forward a year later, now it's 2002. I end up coming home. I have incredible anxiety. I'm so stressed. Like I'm suffering from depression, all of these things. And I really don't know what to do with my life because I really thought I was going to stay in New York and like become like a big corporate CEO. So that wasn't happening anymore. So basically, actually, it was Tillicum who told me that I had always given her a great haircut. So she said, why don't you go back to school and become a cosmetologist? And of course, I was like, that's not a career. Like, nobody goes to school and gets a haircut, right?
Really? Look at you now. No, okay, I get you.
At this point in my life, I'm like 30, I'm about 30, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was about 30 when I moved back home to Virginia.
Okay.
So this is now a couple of years later, and I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I'm not doing anything else. My life is not really going in a direction that I want. I've got all this anxiety, depression, all of this stuff happening in my life. I'm suffering from a lot of bronchial problems from breathing all that horrible air.
Yeah.
And so I decided, well, I'm going to go back to school. Well, it ends up that I love it. I have always been one of those people who like had 5,000 products in their bathrooms.
I'm telling you, when we were growing up, we looked up to you. I looked up to you because you were just always so made up and glamorous looking. Like I was, I remember in high school.
I even thought about.
It just came naturally. See, you didn't think about it twice.
Oh, so it kind of actually surprised me that I would like be so into that. But I guess with the background in theater too, I was used to really like doing up my hair and makeup.
Stage makeup
and all of that stuff. So so I went back to school, and then I went to start working in salons and spas in Charlottesville, and it became evident pretty quickly that I was not going to be able to tolerate the chemicals in the environments that I was working in.
Yeah, and people forget about that. The types of products that are available, like it's only now that suddenly sulfates are a problem, silicones are a problem. They're trying to, and you see like the packaging will say one but not the other, or the other and not the like. I'm suddenly noticing because I'm doing Gaia's hair now.
Hold that thought for a minute because
I will
go back to that in just a second. So basically, then I was like, well, if I want to keep doing this, I'm going to have to go out on my own, and I'm going to have to do a lot of research. Now we're talking now probably 2007.
Okay.
And there's like not a lot out there. There's like 2 companies who have more natural based color systems.
Yeah.
There's like maybe 3 or 4 salon brand products that don't have sulfates and parabens and things like that.
Right.
So it was a lot of research, and it was a lot of trying to figure out just like what was available to me, and doing incredible like digs, trying to find little companies or companies that were doing something unusual, because so much of the industry at that time was just completely in denial about any of this stuff. Yeah,
they weren't about to change what was working for them. Whether it was working for the client or not.
So one of the things that I tell people is I'm like, when you use a shampoo, you use it maybe once a day, maybe once a week, depending on how often you shampoo your hair. Well, when I was working in the salon, I was putting that shampoo on my hands like 10 times a day, 12 times a day. Yeah,
absolutely. Every head that comes in.
I saw people who were breaking out, and they had eczema, and people would have asthma from breathing in all the different chemicals and fumes and all this stuff. So I was like, I can't do it. It's not going to be sustainable for me.
Right.
So basically, after I started looking at all the products, and again, this was a long time ago, then the next step that became evident to me was there wasn't a lot out there. And so I started to come to the realization that maybe I needed to go in and create my own stuff. Yeah. So that's how Apothecary actually happened, was basically I have a really, and this is something I didn't know either, I have a really high standard of what I want a product to do and how a product should feel and how it should be on my skin. I am not afraid to say this face is turning 47 in just a few months.
Are you kidding?
47, and so I really like what.
Wait. I have to process. Wait, 47. No, you're like no. Yeah. You weren't that much older than us.
I am 10 years older than Porna.
And Porna's younger than I am.
Yeah, so Porna
wow.
is 30.
Okay, anyway, moving forward. Okay.
Anyway, so as you can imagine, all right, so this face, I'm like, I really want to make sure that I take good care of it.
Absolutely.
Because I am a little bit vain. That's fine. I'm vain enough to want.
Well, it's got to last you another 50 years. Absolutely. Why not? Shoot.
Yeah. So, and I really realized that the other thing in my work is that I realized that your health and your wellness really comes out in your skin and hair. So I say skin and hair is sort of like the canary in the coal mine. And so when people were coming in to see me, they were like, my skin looks bad or my hair is falling out or I have all these things happening. That then led me to be like, well, I can't just look at the products we're putting on your body. We also have to look at a more holistic view of you. So that then led me into life and wellness coaching because I was like, well, I can't just treat your skin without treating like your whole self, right?
Right.
So then I ended up like going back and getting my certification in life and wellness coaching. Then I go back to school again and I get, I go back and start studying natural skincare formulation. And so now I'm actually just finishing up my advanced skincare formulation course and my hair care course. So I'll be offering hair care products soon too through the line.
Y'all hear that, right? So, skincare and hair care.
Skincare and
plus
hair
services.
Care. So, plus services. So I know like entrepreneurship is something that you're really into. And I always say like, I am like a serial entrepreneur. Like I cannot
you have been. I think your entire family has been actually. I mean, look at Gopal. He's been doing it forever.
Yes, and so one of the other things, I didn't tell you that, then I actually went back and got my degree in business as well, somewhere along the way. Because I felt like, you know, if you're going to have a business, you should probably know what you're doing. And so I felt like it was important for me to have that background, be able to really, to run the businesses. And one of the things that I actually feel like I specialize in is teaching people how to start a business on nothing. Because so many people want to start these big businesses with big budgets, and then it becomes really stressful and really unsustainable. And the thing that you loved in life is all of a sudden not so much fun anymore, right?
It turned into a job. Yeah, exactly.
It turns into a job. So I try to teach, especially, I guess I do work with women because that's the industry I'm in. So I do tend to be with women more. But I really try to encourage women to like start these businesses, but start them really small. Like just start it, right? I mean, it's so easy in the US to start a business, right? We just go and we get like a tax ID and we're ready to go. We can do whatever we want. So I feel like, you know, all these things that I was doing started coming together. And then the next step was Dick and I decided we were going to open a coffee shop. Okay. So now I'm opening a coffee shop in Dillwyn, which is the town that's down the road.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, part of that...
I know where Dillwyn is. That's why I'm like, oh, wow.
So part of that also is starting to offer healthier food choices for the people in our community. Because one of the things I really believe with Tirtha, and I believe this of everybody, just because you live in a rural area or you're not like an urbanite doesn't mean that you don't want really quality products and you want access to things that are really great. So I think sometimes like people who are urban sort of dismiss us country people. Like we're really, you know, we don't care.
Like what would you possibly know? But you,
Yeah. So one of the things we're doing is really trying to offer a lot of like gluten-free, vegan, you know, healthy food options, sugar-free stuff that tastes really good and is offering our community something a little bit different, which again goes in with everything else that I'm doing of trying to like improve nutrition, improving people's health.
From the inside out.
From the inside out, getting this holistic sort of view. So yeah, so basically for the last like 10 years, I've just been...
You've been working hard. You should have like a wall full of certificates somewhere.
Right. So I have a crazy idea in my head now that I'm going to go back and get my master's in nutrition, maybe even become a registered dietitian too. So.
Okay.
That's my like next like 5-10 year plan. We'll see what happens,
but that's cool. But I mean, I'm blown away because you're consistently making sure you're up to date, you have the latest, and you're letting your gut kind of guide you a little bit because you know you've mentioned your standards already. So you've lived like a vegetarian lifestyle for the majority of your life. So you already know what is out there, what's possible, and then just making it gluten-free and vegan is just like the next step. So I mean, yeah, the world is going that way, and I think you're ahead of the curve.
I think they are, and I think Dick and I, for whatever reason, we have tried just about every kind of like diet. Like we live keto, really strict keto for like a year doing vegetarian keto, which is not easy to be vegetarian keto.
I can imagine.
We also were strict vegan for 3 years. So we did that for a time. And a lot of this actually came from my own health issues. So somewhere in this time of me being like a crazy person, opening a billion businesses and doing all this stuff, I also came down with Lyme disease and Epstein-Barr.
Oh my God.
It was really a struggle because there were all these things I wanted to do with my life. And I was completely like, there was about a year there where I was so sick I could barely walk up and down the stairs at night to go to bed. And so trying to get through everything that I was trying to get through. And then that's also where the life and wellness coaching came in too, because I realized like through my own health journey and trying to get better from all of this stuff, then I started learning so much information, and I started going to, I mean, every like online conference, seminar thing you can imagine, from anything.
Right. Because you were looking for a solution. Yeah, absolutely.
Wellness, Lyme disease, like every single thing. I was just like, for a couple of years, I was just completely like just absorbing as much information as possible. And now Dick and I are really into fasting. We fast like crazy.
Intermittent fasting, or just is there a specific kind?
So we do like, we started off the new year with like a 4-day fast, and then we do like 16-hour fasts, or we do 24-hour fasts. Last week I just was playing around, so I did like 2 36-hour fasts just to see how my body would react, and I found that like giving your body that time to sort of repair itself has been really helpful in keeping my health really well. Like once your digestive system like does its thing,
it resets kind of,
then your body has a chance to do all the repair work that it needs to do.
Right.
So it's fun. I'm all over the place, but kind of all together too.
No, it's all related. I see that. It's all related.
Yeah. It all comes back to like your whole mind and body, and really like coming into like peace with that. But also then again, like, you know, I can't talk to somebody about acne without talking to them about, you know, I can look at you like a person and just be like, I know what's going on inside your body. I can tell what's going on in stress and in your mind, right? Just by looking at you. And it's kind of overwhelming for people.
I'm covering my faces. It's breaking out.
People are like, I don't like to be that transparent, but we really
You can't help it though. I mean, I don't think people understand that your skin is like the temperature gauge for what's going on inside your body. And a lot of people are like, oh, have you tried this mask? And nah, that's on the surface. It's still gonna come out.
Right. It is going to come out, and the beauty of it is that yes, okay, so those masks, obviously, I do like a product. They can help. We can do like a lot of glycolics for resurfacing your skin. I used to have like horrible acne. And so I worked on resurfacing all of the...
I'm not going to lie. I have horrible acne. Look at this. And it's usually around my jawline. Look at that. Yes, Camille, I was hiding my face.
Right. One of the things I can say right now is that I can look at that acne and we can know that that's our hormonal. So this acne right here on your cheeks, the same stuff that is all hormonal. And so basically it's like trying to find that hormone balance in your own body, which now we realize there are certain things we can do. People who have small little bumps on their forehead, that tends to be more allergy acne. Okay. So that probably means...
So what foods you're not supposed to be eating, the stuff that doesn't agree with you?
Often it's food, but more often I find it's like products. So either like your shampoo or your laundry soap. People never think about laundry soap, but think about every day we pull our shirts over our heads.
Pull your shirt. Okay, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about it. Yes, exactly. Right.
So I see a lot of like acne right there from people who are having like allergic reactions, things like that. And so again, and the same thing with like hair. I can pull people in and they're like, I'm losing my hair. Well, the first thing is we have to change your hair color. Like if you're coloring your hair, you got to go to like an ammonia-free, like really healthy hair color. That's the first step.
Right.
And then after we do that, then we can start looking at like, okay, is your hair after a couple months, is it starting to come back? If not, then we do have to look at like nutrition. We have to look at your hormone levels. We have to look at like your vitamin levels. And of course now I'm so blessed to be in the US because we can get these tests done. Like, I can go online, even if I don't have insurance, I can go online and pay like $200 and get all these tests done that I want to have done. And they're just like sent to me. So we're pretty spoiled that way. But there's so much that you can find out from just testing. And now they have like DNA testing and genetic testing to see like, I did this incredible test a couple of years ago where they tested all the vitamins in my body and I could see exactly where the vitamin deficiency was. So one of the interesting things was I had low lithium levels. Well, what do they treat people with depression with? They often use lithium, right? Or at least they used to. Now they have fancy drugs. But it used to be we used a lot of lithium. And so what we did was started doing like this really slow dosage of lithium for me, not like a medical dosage or medication dosage, more like a supplementary dosage.
Kind of like a multivitamin kind of thing.
And it's helped a lot, I think. I think like my energy levels are better. I think I'm like a little bit more stabilized in general. And I'm not like, okay, so here's the thing is I am into health, but I also feel like you have to pick and choose like your battles, right? Yeah. So I always tell people, especially like with products, right? Everybody's got a product or an area of their body, whatever, they just cannot give up. For me, it is my mascara. Right? That's my thing, mascara. So my mascaras I use, like, I use tube mascara and that's what I love. So, but if I'm going to use the tube mascara, that's going to be where my chemical intake is going to be. So I have to be really careful with everything. Right. So you kind of have to find like this balance of like, what am I not willing to give up? And then let me change everything else. And of course, don't forget about cleaning products too, because people are amazing. Like you're cleaning something and then you touch your face and like you get it all.
You don't think about it. No one wears gloves, or even if they do wear gloves, they still touch their face with the gloves on. They don't. You don't think.
We don't think. No. So it's fun. I mean, I get to like do all this stuff. The other fun thing is, of course, I have a husband who is just the most amazing and supportive person in the world. So he's the one that kind of keeps me balanced and really makes sure that like I'm not overdoing it. Recently, we had to like calm me down a little and we were like, okay, you need to start meditating twice a day. I need to start doing deep relaxation a couple times a week. Really trying to balance that out because I was trying to do so much that my mind was just starting to get like overly stressed. And so kind of pulling it back and being like, all right, Radha, you have the tools. You have a background in yoga.
Yes, you do. We have no excuse,
so
honestly.
Stressed, I have no excuse. I know what to do. So it's good because he kind of just reminds me and says, okay, come on, let's, go back to your roots. Like your roots are there.
Take a break.
You know the deal. So it does make a huge difference. I feel like meditation, especially for me, it's, again, as an entrepreneur, you were 24/7, right? It's so hard to.
You don't know when ingenuity will strike you. You don't have working hours. What is that? We work whenever we can, all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And now, seriously, between my husband and I, we are managing and running at least, I think, 5 businesses actively right now. And that's a lot of thinking to do on a daily basis. And so trying to find the time to calm all that down and still the mind so that it doesn't just constantly run has been really, really key for me. I don't think I could keep doing all this at this level if I didn't make sure that I was really grounded in that meditation yoga. And whenever I let it go, then immediately, like, I can see the difference. I start to like get wound up into this tight ball and spinning out of whatever.
Well, I have always looked up to you. I'm still kind of reeling from the fact that you told me that you're pushing 50. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we will leave that alone because you don't look it at all. Honestly,
thank you.
I haven't seen you in 10 years, and I don't think you've aged. So I'm just saying.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I would say like
five
we have an age,
businesses.
but I think like you have become even like more beautiful. I think like women are so beautiful, right? Because I feel like, yes, we have these cute little round faces when we're like in our 20s, but I feel like as a woman ages, there's something also that happens within the depth of her face and the depth of her being that starts to come out in her eyes. And really like everything just starts to like settle, and she gets just this thing about her that I think like women, the lot older we get, the more beautiful we become, like really, especially if we can still find joy.
For me, for me, I think it's just been, I finally kind of settled into who I am. I've kind of finally accepted it, and I'm just being me. I'm not impressing, I don't have time to impress anybody anymore. So it's that level of confidence. It kind of like comes out of your face usually, right? You're like, you walk into a room, you're like, yeah, it's me. I'm here. What? So it's been a ride.
I can say that just gets better and better. I swear, like 40 is the thing that ever happened. Like all of that, like craziness in your mind, like I'm not good enough, I don't have enough. Some of that, like it just starts to settle, and you just start to be like, you know,
it becomes one of those take it or leave it. I'm here.
Here, exactly. And I just find like each year, I just get more and more like grounded in my own self, and like really like, you know, because when in my 20s and 30s, I was not very grounded. I was kind of all over the place. But now I just feel like the older I get, just the better it gets. So all you women out there who are like afraid of getting older, like don't be like.
Oh my God, it's like, such a blessing. Yeah.
Such a blessing. Such a blessing. And you don't have to feel or look old. Like that's the thing. I don't think like these numbers. We now understand that like chronological aging has nothing to do with how your body is aging, right? So all these
I will tell you this. And when you were talking about internal health and, you know, the products and the chemicals and everything, I found a picture of me maybe 15 years ago. And I looked at the picture and I was like, is that really me? Because I looked old in that picture. I mean, I looked old. And I don't know if I'm Benjamin Buttoning or what. I think I'm just a little bit smarter about my food. If it upsets my stomach once, I'm not going to eat it again. So I'm just a little bit more careful about what I put into my body, the way I treat my body. I don't wash my hair as often. I let that natural oil kind of like do its thing instead of overworking itself because my scalp is complete. Like all those little things I never noticed before. And I don't feel old either.
No, that's the best part, right? Not feeling.
This little girl keeps me on my toes. I don't have time to feel old.
You're not trying to feel old. You gotta have a lot of energy for that one.
Oh my God. Yeah, pretty much. I'd say when I spoke to you earlier, we were trying to get online earlier, right? I happened to be at the bus stop after we got out of ice skating for 2 hours.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna feel it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm grateful and I'm happy, and I'm starting to push to do things that I haven't done before. Believe it or not, I've never been ice skating. Can you imagine?
Really? No.
I lived in Virginia for 20 years and I never went ice skating.
I guess you don't think about it so much in Virginia, right? We're like, yeah, ice skating.
I can do it later.
I think there's so many fun things that you can do. That was Dick. He's dropping off groceries. There's so many things that, you know, that life is full of so many surprises and so many adventures that, yeah, you just got to keep doing them. Keep yourself young. And that's why I think I learned so much. I try to, like, they say learn something new every day to keep your mind young. Keep your mind occupied. Yes. I am just I've always got about 5 books open all over the house. So no matter where I settle, I've got a book to pick up and start reading. And, that's so cool. So I think it's important to, like you said, try new things, do new things, experiment more, live, go and live. Yes. Go out and live. Like, find something new to be passionate about. Like, my husband's been so great. Like, he got me into basketball. I am a crazed basketball fan. I mean, crazed. Like, we're into March Madness, and every morning I wake up, I'm like, what's going on in my bracket? We're like, have you done like your dream picks and everything, all of that? You have your picks? It's always Carolina winning, though. I should say that. Wait, I'm sorry. Carolina who now? North Carolina, they win everything. So my bracket's always a little boring. I can't say anything. I've been a Blue Devils fan for a very long time, whether they win or not. Oh my gosh. It's a good thing that Dick left before he heard that one. Oh no. I still love you. I'll just be sitting on the opposite side of the,
the court. That's all.
I was going to say, we are a perfect example of how people can be North Carolina fans and Durham fans, and we can all come together and we can all live in peace and harmony.
Absolutely. I mean, come on, we do it.
Screaming at each other in the basketball game.
It's all in good fun.
It's all in good fun. And that's the stuff that keeps you young, right? You got to have something to be passionate about. But at the end
those are the kinds of people I want around me, right? Yeah. As we get older, those are the people I want to have I want to have a great argument with somebody, not because I want to fight you, but let's talk about both sides of an issue. Like, I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but I mean, let me play devil's advocate for a little while. It's fun. Right. I want to learn.
I think it's totally fun, and I think as long as, like, at the end of the day, we still like hug and
as long as we respect each other,
love each other. Mm-hmm. That's the really key thing, because again, there's so much fear. You know, especially in the U.S. right now, there's so much fear, so much, like, everybody feels so separated by politics, and
I really do hate that.
Like, you know, again, like, that's just creating stress in your life, and I know that we use this word stress all the time, like it's just some, you know, oh yeah, everybody's stressed. But I think we really need to change our relationship with that word, because really stress is killing people. You are going to die.
Yeah, it is.
From stress. There's no doubt. And now they can trace back, you know, all of these conditions and diseases, and the things like the top 3 things that, you know, are the top 3 killers in the United States for adults are all related to stress. We can reverse them all.
They're all chronic, right?
Yeah. All chronic. And so we really have so much power. So you have to remember, like, to be passionate, but at the end of the day, just like be kind and love one another, and, you know, be kind. That's always what I say. That's my whole religion. Just be kind.
Yes. That's what Swamiji taught us. Just be kind. Live and let live. Be kind.
Exactly. That's just, you know, and what other people do is not really, you know, my concern. It's more like, I always say at the end of the day, I need to know who I am as a person. I have to go to sleep at night liking who I was that day. Yes. And so if I really love who I was that day, then it doesn't matter to me what anyone said, did to me, you know, how they treated me. All of that is completely irrelevant. All that matters is what kind of person was I today. And that doesn't mean always, also sometimes when I say that, people are like, oh, well, I don't want to, like, be a doormat. I'm like, no, because I wouldn't respect my own self.
That's not what that means. Yeah, that's not what that means. It means that you did everything to the best of your ability. You stood up for your values as best as you could, you know. Yeah, and you were yourself.
In a very powerful and kind way, I put myself first.
Yes.
Right? So, like, I always say, like, yes, we are given husbands, sisters, children, family, all of these people in our life we're given to help take care of. But when we enter into this world, we enter in with ourselves. And when we leave this world, we leave with ourselves. And so every single day, if we just took care of our own business, right, and made sure that our own stuff was taken care of, then the whole world would be happier. So that's what I mean. At the end of the day, I'm like, did I act in a way that was truthful? Did I speak to people clearly and kindly, but also setting boundaries with what I needed? Yeah. And all of these things, again, it all goes back to, like, the coaching stuff that so many people are doing today, because those are important things, no matter whether you're talking about my hair falling out from stress, or I have heart disease from stress, or I just, you know, am depressed or crying all the time, or whatever it is that you're suffering from. So much of it comes back to how you're treating yourself. Are you having respect for yourself?
Yeah.
Treating yourself as nicely as you treat everyone else. And this does not come easily for me at all. This is something that I have to practice every single moment of every day, because my default is not that. My default is
kindness to yourself. So we are our own worst critic, and absolutely.
Yeah, it always starts with myself. And I think that's really, like, you know, if I could, like, wrap up everything we've been talking about, that would be the one thing I'd say. Is, like, you know, treat yourself with respect, whether it's what you're putting in your mouth, what you're putting on your body, what you're putting in your environment. Always think of yourself first. Like, think, like, how is this going to affect me? This is what God gave me. This is what the universe gave me, nature, whatever you want to call it. This is my vessel. And so if I don't treat it with respect, who's going to? If I don't respect myself or love myself,
you set the bar for everyone else. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It took me a long time to figure that out, and you're absolutely right. The things that I say to myself when it's quiet, when I've made a mistake or whatever, those are the worst things. I mean, I wouldn't let them come out my mouth talking to somebody else, but I do let it run in my head, and that's not nice.
Yeah. It's amazing what we'll say to ourselves we would never think of saying to another human.
Thank God it doesn't come out. No one can hear that, but still.
I know. They'll never have to know.
Whew, okay, yeah.
Except for when we admit it on Instagram to everybody.
This is real talk, people. This is who we are.
Real talk.
Oh, man. I
So
love you. I will continue to look. I don't know. I'm trying. You realize this is my 20th year reunion at Fuqua, right? This year.
No.
Yeah. I was talking to Mataji the other day because my mom's in Yogaville with Amarasya, right? So I talked to her, and she happened to have Mataji come over for breakfast. So I got to say hi to Mataji. She said, "You know that lady with the white hair? That she was a teacher in your school. She asks about you all the time." I was trying to think, who has white hair? Daphne Mason, our English teacher, still asks about me, and I am blown away that she remembers me enough to ask. Like, that's so cool.
That is so sweet.
I know, right?
Ace, he's a history teacher, Jennings Custis. Do you remember him? We were talking to him about.
He was a football coach?
No, he
was he a football coach as well as history teacher?
I don't know. He was a history teacher, and he came in the year that Purna left because Purna never had him. And then he's been there for the last like 20-something years. Or
maybe it was after me. Yeah. I would have graduated before her, so I'm not sure. But I remember there was a history coach.
Like, I think Purna left when she was like 15 or something, or 16. She didn't graduate from Fuqua. But you might have missed him. I thought he mentioned your name. I thought you were one of the people he was talking about.
Maybe. I do remember my AP history teacher was a football coach. And I want to say it was Jennings. I can't remember. That's terrible. I remember all the main ones. I mean, Miss Folks and Miss Messedgen and, you know, Miss Andrews, all those major people. I remember I heard recently that Coach Four's wife passed away. That was really sad. Was it Coach Four's wife? Yeah. Just
so great that you stay in touch enough to know, like,
Facebook. Oh my God. I mean, seriously, I don't. When you mentioned that Aaliyah has 26,000 followers, I don't have that many, but I guarantee you the vast majority of them, I know them. I've had conversations with them. I know them. They know me. So that's I feel good about that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I got off Facebook about like 3 years ago. I just sort of stopped going on there, and I started pushing all my content from Instagram. So I very rarely am on there, but it's weird because I don't know anything that's going on. I'm like, I have no clue what people are up to. And you realize that Facebook is such a great way to connect with people and really to find out what's going on.
Honestly, that was the only reason I got online in the first place. I was one of those anti-phone people. I didn't want to be found ever. That was the idea. So if I was driving from Yogaville to Bridgewater, I didn't want to have like phone calls. And that was back when we had bag phones that plugged into the cigarette lighter. So I did not want to be tracked at all. And Facebook was, the reason I did Facebook is because most of my family's overseas. At the time I was stateside and they were all in Asia. So I got to keep in touch that way. But now it's like everyone's everywhere. And I'm trying to keep in touch with all the people I grew up with, I worked with, extended family, everything. And yeah, honestly, y'all are a few of the families that I keep in touch with. Everyone else is like singular people, right? But you, your sister, I don't talk to Purna as much, but you and Auntie Sumati, I'm really close to. I talked to Gopal for a little while after, he had stuff, and it was cool. I'd never spoken to him before, but it's really cool to connect with him. That was really nice.
Oh, that is fun. Your brother was just here and I didn't know. He told Sumati. I was like, we don't see each other all the time. You'd be surprised.
But he comes like a whirlwind. He comes in for like maybe 15 hours and then he's gone again. He's in Georgia now.
He's so rotten because he doesn't post the photos, I think, until he leaves. Like, so we don't know.
Yeah, and usually it's my mom that posts and tags him like after the fact.
Well, I hope you make it over this way. And like I said,
I'll tell you guys.
keep sending us the information. You never know. Maybe I can convince Dick to come to Singapore in December.
I will.
Yeah,
that would be a really cool vacation for however many of you can make it out here. So yeah, that would be really cool.
I just couldn't imagine.
We'd have our own Yogaville reunion here in Singapore. Look at that. And you remember Kapilin as a little boy from way back in the productions back when oh goodness. Back when everyone, Natraj and Sampath and Kannan and Kapilin were all really good friends. Yeah. Back when Neil and Manuel Pillai and his sisters were there.
We have this wonderful thing where growing up in a community like this, there's somebody who always remembers you as a little kid, right? So
yes,
you're always being viewed as somebody really young. And I think that in some ways that's really a lovely thing, right? Sometimes you're annoyed because you're like, I'm 40, you could take me seriously. At the same time, you're like, it's amazing. And I think about Kapilan, like, I mean, I cannot look at that man without seeing that sweet, adorable little boy. Like, I just want to squeeze him. He's so cute and so sweet. So, like, the idea of him, like, being old enough to get married, and he's probably more than old enough to get married. It's just, your brain just can't wrap itself around.
I stopped counting his age. Maturity-wise, he's kind of like on my level. So I consider him my twin. We think the same way. We behave, very much alike. But when Gaia was born, all of her little baby pics and stuff, spitting image of him. Oh, gosh. She looked just like him.
That's so sweet. How old is she now?
She's going to be 8 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. She's so beautiful, though. Gosh, she is growing into such a beautiful. And you can tell, like, from her eyes, she's spicy but sweet.
She's a little adult. Yeah, she's like 8 going on 38.
Yeah. You can definitely tell. She's got a good spice about her.
Yeah. But you know what? She's really kind. If you see her playing on the playground, she does look out for everybody. She's like the little mom on the playground looking out for people. I'm very grateful for her demeanor, her personality.
Well, good job, Mom. Yeah. You're part of that,
Thanks. I'd like to think so. She got a mouth on her. She got that from me. So.
Well, that's okay. That'll serve her well later on in life.
I'm hoping
that mouth is not such a bad thing when you become an adult.
No.
Especially as a woman, I think becoming having that mouth and being able to speak up for yourself is an important thing. As a woman.
Absolutely. Especially here in Asia, and I'm really grateful.
I can only imagine. So talk to me a little bit. I know we're just talking away.
No, it's okay. It's fine. This is awesome.
So talk to me a little bit about your perception of how it is different being a woman in Asia as opposed to being in the U.S. and sort of what your feelings are about how, with your work and what you're doing, helping people.
Honestly, it's still kind of taboo to talk about your problems. It's still looked down upon to admit that you have mental health stresses. Maybe you aren't able to handle breakups. Maybe you're having a tough time being happy all the time. So you have very high highs and very low lows. People don't understand that you need somebody to talk to. And if you continually put it aside and pretend like it's not there, it blares out at all the wrong moments, and then it's something to really contend with. Whereas what I want people to understand is it's not so bad. Everyone goes through it. You're not alone. That's the one thing I'm trying to fix. People think they're alone in all their stresses. Yes, our crosses are our own to bear, but there are similarities. The fact that you can't voice your opinion is a problem all over the world. The fact that you can't be, a little more confident than most, where a man can be very confident, but you're looked at as boisterous or obnoxious or arrogant as a woman. I think those are things that we need to really think about, because standing up for yourself does not mean you're putting someone else down, ever. You're just I feel like if you don't tell people what hurts you, you don't give them a chance to adjust and help you out. You can't ever expect for people to assume that they, that they understand what you're feeling. You got to say it out loud. You have to be given the chance to say it out loud so that people can change it. Then they can show you if they care or not. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are so afraid to come out of their mouth and say, you did this and it hurt me. It offended me. It hurt my feelings. And people don't talk. They're real happy to talk about the Kardashians and all the other junk, but the things that really matter, we don't say. We don't take the time to explain or understand, and I really feel badly about that. The conversations she and I have, my daughter and I have, they're super deep. We watch all kinds of movies. Obviously, I'll watch them with her just to make sure I can, I can censor it a little bit, but whatever questions she has, we can talk about. We can look at all sides of that situation. Well, what if this person took it this way and this is how they felt? Maybe that's why they reacted the way that they did. Maybe she hit the little boy or whatever because she felt threatened somehow, and that's the only that was like a knee-jerk reaction. That's what came out because no one ever explained to her that hitting is bad or that violence doesn't solve anything. It gives someone else the excuse to kind of retaliate again. So no one has those conversations. And back in the day, when we were growing up, I don't know about in your family, my family being big, if I got in trouble with my mom's going to tell my aunts and uncles, and I'm going to get in trouble with them too. But that was how we reinforced that what they were teaching us was valid, right? Yeah. It was like village central. Like, yeah, I remember coming over to your house and talking to your mom and sitting down and explaining a couple of things, and she was like, really? And it was from conversations with your family that I realized I have a right to say something about these things because it's not okay, because it's being done out of anger and not out of a sense of concern to fix the behavior. Do you remember? So people don't talk to understand each other. They talk to spend the time, and that's not okay.
Right, they do, and I think like the content of the sharing is so important. And again, like you're mentioning my family, that's where I was so blessed. I was raised in a very matriarchal family, right? My mother is this incredibly
she's so strong,
honest, hardworking, but like really, really like willing. And both my parents, my dad too, like have always our whole lives been willing on a spiritual level to hear what we have to say to them. So they, as parents, if we came to them with some sort of need or some sort of, I don't want to say criticism because it wasn't that, but just coming to them saying like, this happened. And so now 10 years later, maybe I'm dealing with a little bit of effect of this thing happening. My parents have always been really like open. And that's the cool thing about having spiritual parents like you.
Yeah. When I think divine feminine and divine masculine, I think of your parents. They really complement each other.
When your daughter is a teenager and she's coming to you and, she's saying, Mom, like, this is not fair, or I don't like this or whatever, like, we're constantly coming back to that spiritual place of like, all right, you're right. I'm on a growth path here too. I'm not perfect. I'm not complete. I'm not whole. And my parents have always been able to see that like, okay, we're still growing too. And that I think is the best in the whole world.
That gives them permission to fail as well because they see us still failing and still picking ourselves up and still trying again. And I don't feel like an adult, Radha. I really don't. I'm winging it as a parent. I feel like a big ass kid. Like, what am I pretending to be here? Really? Like, no, I'm winging it. There's no handbook. I do the best I can based on what I've seen. I take the best of all the relationships around me, I think, and I try it, and if it doesn't work, we adjust. But she has to have trust in me to the point that she can say what she means, and she knows I will take it seriously, and then we'll talk about how we can adjust.
Right.
In a lot of relationships and a lot of friendships, there isn't that level of trust or intimacy yet. You talk about all the mundane, stupid things, but when it comes to real feelings and real issues, it's easier to drop people than it is to, okay, let's sit down and talk about this. You know what I mean? And I hate that. You can block people so fast. You can unfriend people so fast. And where do we get as a society then? We leave so many things unsaid.
Yeah, and I think, again, that has to do with that cross thing, too, of having understanding of other people's viewpoints and other people's ideas. And allowing, I mean, I always take this truth is one, paths are many that we were taught by Swami
Yeah.
Satchidananda.
I was so blessed.
An even greater example of like, it's not just about religion. Truth is one, paths are many.
No.
It's about everything that we do. Like those paths are many. And so I can look at somebody and say, that is not the way, that's not an idea or an opinion or anything that I even feel comfortable with. But I also have to give you space and give you love and give you kindness, even if I don't. So like our ideas and our opinions are not who we are, right? So I always have to go back to who you are and honor that as opposed to honor, because the truth is that I, you know, since I got together with my husband, I have more Republicans in my life than I've ever had before. And sometimes we have really, really vast ideas about like just totally on the separate sides of issues. But at the same time, I can't look at those ideas and find hatred. I have to accept the fact that like, okay, we're all allowed to believe what we believe.
Yeah.
I can have a conversation about it with you, but I can't. I can't cut you off for
exactly
that thing, because as soon as I cut you off, then there's no dialogue. And so it's the same with your children. Like just because your child is doing something you don't like, you can't cut off the conversation. It has to be like this process of like, okay, let's talk.
Yeah,
let's understand
absolutely.
why you're doing that. You know?
And it took me a little bit of learning, but I realized that the beliefs I held before I met your family, before I moved to Yogaville, were so far from who I was by the time I left. And even from there till now, I shed beliefs all the time. So I can't knock someone for what they believe at the moment. It's what works for them right now. And that isn't to say that they might change at some point, but right now, this is how they piece their world together. And this is how they make sense of it. And I'm not about to destroy that so I can be right, because I'm not either. I mean, this is what works for me. I mean, what is, I saw a quote the other day. It was like, 6 plus 4 is 10, but so is 5 plus 5, and so is 3 plus 8. And we still get the same number, but I might like even numbers better, so I might go with 6 and 4. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So it all can be said in different ways, and the beliefs are different. But it's so great that you're also like, every time we pass this on to the next generation, every time we allow them more space to be who they are, every time we approach them with more kindness, I think we just create like a more beautiful world. I think our parents tried to do that with us, and I think that that's what we're trying to do with our kids, and just, well, you with your kids, me with my grandkids.
With your nieces and nephews and all of them, the whole jing bang.
Lots of nieces and nephews. I guess I have lots of kids in my life, even if they didn't all come from my body.
They're your kids. I mean, and I had stepkids before I had actual kids, and yeah, they're my kids. If you spend any time in my house, you are my kid.
Yeah.
Even though I'm telling you now, I'm not an adult. Y'all were my kids.
I wonder what that word even means. I know for some people, I don't know, I guess it has connotations, because for me, I just never even I guess I always wanted to be on my own, right? I always liked the idea of being grown up, because it allowed me to have the freedom to live my life exactly as I wanted. And
but
so
with the freedom came so much responsibility.
Right. And so there's something that I kind of like about paying a bill, or doing the laundry even, or something like that, that gives me a lot of feeling of this is the freedom that I get, because I you get to choose your life. Right. That I can choose my life. So I guess for me, being an adult, I guess I never associated it with anything other than freedom.
That works. That is the belief we're going with. This works for us.
Because anything beyond that, anybody who knows me is not wow, that girl's really grown up and stuffy or whatever. But I just, for me, it's just I like my freedom.
I keep telling Gaia, look, the whole goal here is to die young, as late as possible.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a great quote. I'm going to use that one.
Please do. Have fun.
That's a
Please
good
do.
one. Yeah, that is a.
Oh
That
my
is
gosh.
absolutely.
This is
Yep.
so
I was.
awesome.
I
Thank
don't
you
want to
so
live
much.
forever. I want to feel good while I'm alive. That's
Yeah.
it.
I want to
That's why I do
continue
all this
doing
stuff. People are like,
and living.
why are you so crazy about your diet? Why are you so crazy about this? I'm like, because I just want to feel good. That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank your
Time
beautiful
flies.
daughter for letting us talk for so long.
Oh, she's asleep. She's good.
Oh, she's in bed now. She's like, bye.
We share a room, so she
I
knows.
don't even know.
It's about to be. It's like 1:45.
So you're like 12 hours.
Yes, ma'am. Now that daylight savings is kicked in, yes, we're back to 12 hours.
Very cool.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I love you to pieces. Thank you so much for spending some of your morning with me. You guys,
absolutely. Thank you.
Healthy beings need an organic day spa. Please go contact Radha at Tirtha Salon and Apothecary. I will upload this on Facebook and tag you, and I'll put it on YouTube as well so people can come find us, because this is an awesome conversation. I loved it.
Yeah, come find us. And I love talking about this stuff. So you can always, I don't care where you are in the world, send me a message on Facebook.
Yes, please.
Or Instagram or whatever. And I would love to respond with any of your questions or needs or whatever, because that's really just what I love to do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And good luck with all of your studies. I'm so proud of you. And yes, I will continue to look up to you because you look amazing. So I will talk to you again soon.
All right.
I love you.
Love you.
Bye.